Hello everyone, my name is Isabella Marie and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new to my channel, then welcome to my channel. I would love it if you guys could please click the subscribe button down below to become an official part of the family. I would also love it if you guys could please click the notification bell, that way you guys are notified whenever I upload a brand new video because I upload every Sundays at noon. So, for today's video, I saw this. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is still a challenge anymore, but this was going around YouTube a while back. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing the full face using products that I either don't like or they're just old. So I think not throwing them out, but these are just products that, I don't really like. So, also, if the lighting goes down, I'm filming in front of my window. I have reorganized my room, so if you guys would like a room tour, then I can totally do that for you guys. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to use is the e.l.f. Lock On Face Primer. Okay, so I've gone back and forth with this face primer. It looks like this. It was one of e.l.f.'s new primers a while back. It has a squeezy tube with a pump. You guys know how I feel about those. Also, this is kind of like these products' last chance. If they don't work now, then it's just going to be like, I'm not going to use them again. So, So, this primer, I did a whole blog on my website about it, which if you guys didn't know, I have a website. It's always linked in the description box below, so I highly recommend that you guys always just go check out my description box. Not only do I leave products listed, but I also leave like links and websites and things like that. And all of my social medias are always in my description box. So I'm going to start with the Lock On Face Primer. Now, it's a very thick face primer. Like, I'm not kidding, you guys. Look at that. It's a very, very thick glue, almost glue type face primer. And I know those and I'm going to press it into the skin. I know those product primers are like in where it's like glue, but this one is like, I can feel it on my skin. And especially like after I put on like, my foundations and stuff, I could just feel it on my skin. So and sometimes I can't do my eye, like I have to go onto my eyes, but it just, you guys, I'm telling you. Okay, so it's a good face primer, but I don't know. But if you guys want my full thoughts, go check out. A pigeon literally just flew outside my window. Hello, birdie. Okay, so for foundation today, I'm going to be using the Rimmel Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Foundation, Medium Coverage Foundation. I have mine in the shade 001 Light Ivory. Now, my problem with this, it looks beautiful when you first apply it. Also, keep in mind, it's not my shade. I'm going to put my mirror right here. I hope it doesn't bother you. But keep in mind, this is not my right shade. And that's not even the problem with this, excuse me, foundation. The problem with this foundation is that it looks kind of good when I first apply it. So I'm like, okay, it could be a good thing. But then after a while, it just starts breaking up on my face. And no matter what type of primer I use, no matter what. So this does have a doe foot applicator. Looks like this. You guys know how much I like my doe foot applicator foundations. Can we just talk about the color difference? So you guys know how much I like my doe foot applicator products. My one thing about doe foot, I don't think they're that sanitary, because I have breakouts on my skin. Like I'm sure a lot of us do. We get breakouts and stuff. But I might have put on way too much, but you have to keep dunking it in. So it's like, So I'm going to take a Real Techniques beauty sponge. I'm just going to take my normal products. That way you guys can know that I'm using my normal everyday product like brushes and stuff, and so that I'm not just using cheap quality, or not cheap, but like not brushes that I like. Okay, so this says that it's medium coverage, and I do think that it is semi-medium coverage, but I also think that if hello, Flashback Mary. I'm just kidding. I love Sister James. But I do think that if you're going to say medium coverage, I want it to be like medium, but you can still kind of, it's still a little bit more full. Like, I want a medium to full coverage, and I know it doesn't claim to be medium to full, whatever. But like this, you guys, it's just, first of all, I'm pale as all heck because this isn't my shade, but that's not even the problem. The problem with this foundation is that it leaves streaky marks, and as soon as I go to build up the product, it just doesn't work. So I'm going to add a little bit more on my cheeks because I feel like that's where I need a little bit more coverage. I'm going to go in with concealer, but I feel like I just need a little bit more coverage of the base. So, you guys, I'm really, really trying here. And I mean, I love this sponge. I use it in my everyday, like, makeup routine. I use it in, like, everything. But I can't get this foundation to work. Like, some places look patchy, and I'm blending, and I'm, like, doing all this stuff, and it just doesn't work. So, next, moving on, I'm going to use CoverGirl's Ready Set Gorgeous Concealer. Now, you may think, but what? You talked about this on your channel a lot. Yes, because it was the only light concealer that I had. So, I have mine in the shade Fair, I believe. It was the only really, really light. Like, at this point, I'm pretty sure the concealer is darker than my foundation. But, it was the only light enough concealer that I had that wasn't bad. Like, so the coverage on this, I've heard people like Shannon Harris from Xoxo rave about the foundation. But this concealer just has no coverage. Or if it has coverage, it has a little bit of coverage. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. Like, this is not okay. Sorry, my camera shuts off after 8 minutes. So I'm literally just blending this into my skin. And it does blend well. That's not why I don't like it. It's a coverage issue for me, which is why I don't really like it. But if you like lighter coverage, this is going to be the product for you. So I'm going to use this blush stick. I'm not even sure where it's from. It looks like this. It's a pretty color, and it's pretty pigmented as well. So I'm going to put a little bit on my hand. And the problem with this is I just never, first of all, I don't really wear blush. Second of all, I never really use cream products like this. So if you use cream products like this, you might like this. But I never really use cream or stick blushes. So I'm going to take it on my finger. Make sure a lot of it's dotted off. I mean, it's probably really, really pretty for blush wearers, but I'm just not really a blush wearer, so I'm just gonna bounce it in with my beauty sponge. To be honest, I'm not really a big fan of blush, so I mean, that's as good as it's gonna get. So I'm just wiping it off the back of my hand, because I did put a lot on the back of my hand, so I'm just wiping it off the back of my hand. Okay, so next thing I'm going to use is this Mariposa contour palette, I believe. 3 bronzer slash contour shades and 3 highlight shades. So this is the Mariposa one and Mustasi one, and this is the Mariposa one. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did buy these two, or both. I haven't bought this one because I really want it, but I bought this one to kind of compare it to the Anastasia, but as you guys can kind of see, there really is no comparison between the two. Like this shade right here in the Mariposa palette is a straight white. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it's a straight white highlight shade. Now this shade does remind me a lot of the Ice Queen palette, or the Ice Queen shade from the NYX Contour palette, which is my favorite shade. But as you guys can see, between the two palettes, really there is no comparison. Like, this is my favorite contour slash bronzing shade right here in the middle of the Anastasia palette on the bottom row. That's my favorite contouring slash bronzing shade. It's in the shade Fawn, and really there really is no shade like it in the Mariposa palette. So, I mean, it wouldn't really be fair to me to put the two against each other, so yes. So, in this palette, I'm going to take this middle shade right here, which if you guys can see, I do use this shade, to be honest. But the problem with this shade is that, or this formula, is that it's very, very powdery and leaves my under eye very powdery. So I'm going to take the middle shade on the e.l.f. small taper brush, and a lot of powder just came off, but there's still a lot of powder on the brush, so I'm just gonna take it and apply it under the eyes to kind of set the under eye. Now, I might take this powder all over the face as well, just because I don't have an all over face powder, so that I'm not, because I only have one face powder, and it's the Rimmel Stay Matte. And before that, I was using, or before I broke it, I was using the NYX Stay Matte powder. So, yeah. So now I'm going to take the e.l.f. complexion brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that middle powder. Be very, very cautious in palettes like this not to get the other shades. And I'm just going to take it around the face just so that the powders kind of blend on top of them. Okay. So, next for bronzing slash contouring, I'm going to take the, is this Avon? Yes, Avon Be Sunny Bronzing Powder, light medium. Now, if you guys have been an OG on my channel, I've used this. I used to use this so long ago. Just looks like this. It's a very, I don't know. I don't even know. It's just a very pretty high bronzing shade. But for me personally, I just find the shade is pretty. But it's very orange and very patchy. So I'm going to take the same e.l.f. complexion brush. And I'm going to dip my brush in the product. And apply it to the face. Now, it looks good on camera, but in person, it kind of looks a little bit patchy. So, I don't know. But I keep it around in my collection because it's just nostalgia for me. I'm like, this is where I came from. Like, this is the product that I used to use, like, all the time. So I just blend. And it looks very harsh, like no matter how much I'm blending it. It could be the fact that I'm blending this on a pale face, but I don't know. So I'm just blending everything all together, and yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to take a little bit on my forehead to see if we can kind of warm up the face a little bit. Okay, my nose is super itchy. Okay, so now what would an Isabella Marie tutorial be without a highlight? So I'm going to go back into the same contour slash highlight palette, and I'm going to take the stark white shade. Now, do not be afraid to use stark white highlight shades. They're beautiful. This one just, I mean, that shade is super pretty, and probably I'll keep this palette just for that shade, to be honest, because it is a super pretty highlight shade. I just don't wear it as much as I would like to because I get stuck on my champagne pop. So like, and this is a super pretty highlight shade, but I mean, this palette, I couldn't, like, people probably will have a hard time finding it. So if you guys like the stark white highlight shades, the NYX highlight and contour pro palette have a shade called Ice Queen. You can buy the single of it on their website, and it's the same exact thing. Okay, moving on to eyes. I have these 4 palettes, which, to be honest, I was in the Dollar Tree one day and I saw these 4 palettes. So these are from LA Colors, I believe. Yes, LA Colors. They're the 12 color eyeshadow palette. So this one, oh, my camera's gonna die. This one is in the shade Trendy. So it just looks like this. This blue, they have a bluish one, which is not this one. Oh, maybe it is. Yes, it is. They have this bluish shade one, which is called Supernatural. It just looks like this. They have these, showing you these palettes. So this next one, don't mind me if my eyes are watering, but this next one is in the shade Glamorous. It just looks like this. And then there is one more palette in the shade Chic. So to be honest, I think I'm gonna go in with the first one, but this is in the shade, this one is the shade Chic, or the name, I guess. I think I'm gonna go in with this one, which is Trendy, just because these colors are more up my alley. But to be honest, my problem with these is the pigmentation. So I'm gonna take this shade right here. It's the second, it's this shade right here. It's the second one in. I don't even think I showed you guys the correct color, but it's this one. So I'm just going in with my brush. And this is a clean blender brush, by the way. It's from Pure Cosmetics. And I tapped off the excess. But the problem is when you tap, okay, with these is that even when you tap off the excess, you're basically tapping off the entire shadow. So I'm not a big fan of these. So yeah. So I'm gonna have to go back and kind of layer everything. So sorry if I'm out of focus at any point during this video. My big camera with my viewfinder died, so I don't have my viewfinder. So I'm gonna take this shade again on the other eye. I don't know why I showed you guys that again, but kind of blend as much as we can. These are also very patchy and very, very hard to blend. Also, all of these shades, not sure if the camera is going to be able to pick it up, but all of these shades are super, super shimmery. Like, there's shimmer in all of these shades. So the next shade I'm going to go in with is the one right underneath it. So this shade right here. And I'm going to put that on the outer V. So you would think it's a dark shade, but I'm not even sure if you guys can see my brush. So I'm also just packing this in the outer corner because I'm going to put, all these are shimmers, but I'm going to put an actual shimmer on my eyelid. So yes. So the less I get on my brush, the more I'm going to start taking it into that inner corner and blending it in. So thanks to Jaclyn Hill, I was watching her video, the transition area is kind of right here. So it's the transition shade. So it's kind of like your crease. So the transition shade, the transition area is right here. So anything above it is going to be light and anything below it is going to be dark. So I'm keeping this shade low in the transition area and just kind of buffing and blending, to be honest. There's really no point of buffing and blending this shade because it's just not going to work. I'm going to take, actually we're going to go back in with that highlight shade from the Mariposa Contour Kit, the stark white that I used to highlight my face on the other end of this brush. I'm just going to pick some up on that brush and hope for the best, and kind of just put it into the inner corner. This isn't working like at all, so I'm not going to fidget with my eyes anymore. I'm just going to go in and do one final blend, and that's going to be the end of the eyes. So for brows, to be honest, I was going to use this e.l.f. eyebrow pencil, but I kind of like this brow pencil. So maybe we'll just spoolie out our eyebrows with the brow pencil and then move on to mascara. So this next product that I don't like is going to get a lot of people mad, a lot of people upset. If I'm using anything in this video that is like one of your holy grail favorites, anything in this video that is one of your holy grail favorites, all I'm going to say to that is all products work different with different skin tone. So, or skin types. So what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. So please, just all the negative comments, just, I don't want to hear them. So this is the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. This is the waterproof version. I just don't feel like it makes my lashes black, but I just don't think that it gives my lashes a lot of length or volume, which a voluminous mascara I would expect to have a little bit of volume. So, but it does make them super black. So I'll use this mascara when I'm applying false lashes, which I'm not today because I don't really have any pairs of false lashes that I don't really like. So, oh, my camera keeps like, okay. So for lips, I'm just going to use this lip gloss because I don't really have any other lips that I don't really like. So I'm not even sure what this lip is. All I know is that it's in the shade Paradise Pink. So it's a very pink lip gloss. So my problem with this is it's very sticky. It gives pretty color payoff, but it's very sticky and it has a very perfumey scent to it, which I'm not about. So these are all the products that on my face that are products that I don't really like, or are just, yeah, products that I just don't like. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video and enjoy this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos down below, and yeah, I'll talk to you all in my next video. Bye guys.